Yo, what is good? What is good, y'all? Chat popping already as normal. Love y'all. Got the best chat on the internet. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing? Me and Funky been champing at the bit to get on with y'all today with this news break. And we had a nice little show prepared, topics and everything. Had to delete that joint real quick so we can get ready to talk about this NOA letter sent by the NCAA to the Skunks. Officially, we've been waiting on it. So definitely gonna talk about it. We're also gonna talk about the season preview versus the Zips. And I want to touch on the O line some if possible. But we're going to lead with this. How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing? What's good? In the comments, please type where you are from. I like that little tradition by the Scoop. Type where you're from. Also, please take 2 seconds and like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video and subscribe. Funky, what's good, brother?
What's up, B Moses? Yeah, very excited to be here. I mean, we had a whole show written up. We've been talking about it all week how we're going to discuss. We're excited for week one. We're going to have a big game day, pre-game day talk, and about 2 hours beforehand, we had to cancel it because the big NOA dropped, and it's going to be a nice Christmas present for us. About 120 days from now is Christmas Eve. So, and that's when the NOA, or that's when all the punishments and everything's supposed to hand down. So that will be a Merry Christmas for the Scoop family, and I can't wait. It's just, yeah, only 120 more sleeps, or unless they settle, which they probably will. So, but now it's good. This is finally get wrapped up, and it's gonna be good, and justice will be served, and I can't wait. It's gonna be. I mean, that was great news. It just the clock's now starting. It's the doomsday clock. So
Yeah, so based off what Funky's saying, I know all of y'all don't follow this stuff that closely. So there's a 90-day response time that Michigan has to respond to the NOA, which is Notice of Allegations letter. All right, 90 days. Now it's possible they can eventually settle or agree or whatever, and then the sanctions will then come out sooner than that. But they technically have a 90-day window. So that's what he means by that. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see, but it's just funny looking at all the different takes on social media and the internet. And to me, it clearly shows that a lot of people just haven't followed this. They don't know all the facts. They don't know exactly what happened. And they're responding with their chest. They're saying a lot of this strong stuff with their chest, but they actually don't know the facts. And it's just like, huh? Like, what do you like? Do you even follow this? So, Funky, what's some of the things you've been seeing from Michigan fans, even some Ohio State fans who are doubting that anything? Because here's the thing: I preface that question with, "There's still a lot of people just adamant that nothing's going to happen, that they're going to walk away with a slap on the wrist for what they did with the Stallion stuff."
yeah, I mean, if we just look at what's already been leaked or shown, or what we could prove from the Big Ten letter that Tony Petitti said at the beginning of the year, to the fact that this investigation took 10 months to do, and all these quotes from the NCAA and the Big Ten, who are the people making these decisions in this, there's nothing has been positive for Michigan. And I think the timing on this thing was directly. I think Michigan fans like playing the victim card, and I agree with them to this extent. For the timing was meant to screw him over, but I think that's totally justified. Though the way to avoid timing not screwing you over is to not cheat in the first place. So, and I think the NCAA is gonna. I mean, they're going to punish Michigan really hard, and I think they hate Michigan. I think everything they're doing, it just shows us like how they're really trying to get after them, and they're not going to let them off easy. And I think the timing's a good example of that. What's better than the week? Because now all the players going to be asked about all week is, oh, the NOA, and the coaches, all they're going to be asked about is the NOA, and that's 1, 2, 3% distraction away from the game day this Saturday. And Fresno State is not a horrible team. Like, that game spread's only at 21 or 20 and a half now, I think. And that's not like we saw yesterday. SMU was 27-point favorites, and they almost stumbled. Michigan, all this stuff coming down, and the fact that their point total is already going to be inflated by winning the national championship, that could be a really scary game. And then they have Texas next week with all these new players, with 4 returning starters. So it's 18 new starters. I mean, this could be a very scary time for Michigan, and I think NCAA knows that. And I think everything they're doing is very deliberate, that they can get this done before the season ends, but they could also screw Michigan over in the process.
Yeah, and for sure. And it's funny, you talk about timing and pay attention. Think about this. After Harbaugh went on his little goofy rant at the Chargers press conference about don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal. If Worms had machine gun, whatever he said, the next day is when the NCAA popped him with that 4-year show cause and the 1-year suspension. I'm not sure if the timing of that was coincidental or not. I think the NCAA purposely did that. Like, all right, have a seat somewhere, buddy. Enough of that. You're done. Shut up. So now, fast forward, you got the Connor Stallions doc coming out, I believe Tuesday, Wednesday, and boom,
Tuesday,
here comes
yep.
Tuesday, and here comes the official letter of allegations. So I don't know. I mean, the NCAA, it's not like they don't see or hear any of this banter. You know what I mean? Now, there's not going to be an NCAA rep on Twitter trolling like, "Huh, you think so? I'm going to throw." No, it's not going to work like that. But they're going to troll you with and certain things. And somebody mentioned that how uncooperative they were. That's one thing. And I'm about to read y'all briefly what really set me off to really believe that, oh yeah, they're going to get popped. Not any insiders, not any sources. This right here, and I'm not invalidating those because I believe Nevada has great sources, and I believe something's going to happen. But I'm saying initially when I saw this, I'm about to read y'all in a moment, this is what convinced me, oh yeah, this is bad. But yes, the uncooperative nature of scum is what really, really is going to make this even worse. And it's ridiculous. So because certain schools recently got popped and they were cooperative. So the logic then leads you to believe, so what's going to happen to y'all? That's just simple thinking. That's simple critical thinking, y'all, right? That's not, oh, you suck-eye homer. That's critical thinking. Simple, right? So real quick, Funky, I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's too long. I'm going to kind of read the cliff notes. Remember, y'all, when this first hit, the Big Ten, Tony Petitti, all that, they used very strong language with this whole scandal. First and foremost, the Michigan fans who make it seem like they don't have no evidence and ain't got no proof or nothing like that. I'm about to read to you what they said as far as the proof they have. Also, the Big Ten received notification from the NCAA that they had evidence. Do you understand? The NCAA sent them information and said, yo, we got them in 4K. We got footage. We got receipts. There's evidence. So real quick. So here's one part of it. Looking at this email from Petitti. All right, the University of Michigan, we're informed by NCAA staff on November 2nd, 2023, that evidence characterized by the NCAA as uncontroverted exists to demonstrate that a non-coaching football staff member, Connor Stallions, coordinated a scheme by which individuals were directed to attend games of future opponents for scouting purposes in violation of NCAA bylaw 11.61, which prohibits in-person scouting of future opponents. In addition, violates the NCAA football playing rules, prohibition on recording signals given by an opposing player, coach, or other team personnel. So just once again, it's not just sign stealing. Everybody does it. No. Y'all was doing something on a whole nother level. So stop that, please. Now, I'm not that smart. I had to look up. I don't use uncontroverted every day. So I had to look up the definition. You can kind of, context clue it, but I wanted the meat of it. And it says the definition of uncontroverted, of which the truth or validity is not disputed or denied. That's what the NCAA is saying. Is like, listen, we don't think we have evidence. We don't hope we got evidence. We got evidence, and there's no doubt about it. So that strong language that was dropped out from the beginning, and then the actual letter response to Michigan from Petitti, which is even longer, using words. I'm looking at it right now. That says words like unprecedented as far as the scope of this scandal. It even talks about risk of compromising the integrity of football competitions. They were actually going to let Michigan State sit out and not play. When have y'all ever heard that since you've been alive? Ever. But nah, this is a nothing burger. I'll tell you what, in the off chance that this is a nothing burger, which I do not believe, that has to be the highest level of corruption and just whatever that I've ever seen on a politics level, because there's no way, based off of just this alone and the strong language that they used when this first came out, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense to think this is going to be a slap on the wrist. So I'm going to stop my rant right there because I can keep going. I want you to jump in, Funky.
Yeah, no, you're totally right on that. I mean, there's two things that could happen. Either one, Michigan's gonna get the punishment that they deserve, and that we've been reporting, and that has been the right thing. Two, Tony Petitti, Charles Baker, that whole entire firm who investigated Michigan, every single person a part of the investigation part of the scandal who released all these documents saying that they've undoubtedly evidence of Michigan cheating and actually suspended Jim Harbaugh in the middle of the season because of these undoubtable evidence that of a proven 3-year cheating scheme should be fired. So if they miss that bad that they claim that they have all this evidence and they actually got Jim Harbaugh out of coaching really. And they kicked out Jim Harbaugh's a great coach no matter how you look at it. He went to the Super Bowl. He had great success at Michigan even before the last 3 years. Great coach, always has great offensive lines. In the NCAA, suspended him for 3 games in the middle of the year for the biggest game of the whole entire season. So basically what I'm saying, that's not going to happen. Michigan's going to get hammered, and it's all there because they have too much to lose on this. They're not going to just sit out there and be wrong about this. That would be, that just wouldn't happen. That's insane. This has never happened before. They've never suspended a coach mid-year. The Big Ten hasn't. That's unprecedented. That it was crazy when it happened, and it's even crazier now looking back at it because imagine how bad the evidence had been so good. Because they completely skipped the whole process, the 90-day process and the 30-day process to do this. So if they're wrong about this and somehow I'm not even sure they're not wrong about it. So I'm not even going to say that. But I think it's just ridiculous how people can deny that and say all this bunch of BS that they try to come up with on the daily basis that it's a nothing burger, it's a nothing burger, it's a nothing burger. It's just used for coping. And now Michigan sites, the same sites that reported to you that Michigan will never receive a notice of allegations, they said, we're not even sure if it's going to come out. We still don't know it's going to come out. They're just going to have a settlement. Michigan's going to get a big fine, and that's all that's going to happen. It's not going to come out. And it came out, and now they're like, oh, it's nothing. You would think if it was nothing, B. Moses, you would think that they would want to settle it before the season starts, right?
Right,
exactly. You would think, oh, it's a distraction. Let's settle. We'll take our big fine. Whatever. Give them a show cause. Whatever. The blah, blah, blah. We keep our wins. No postseason ban. We have to fire a coach or two. So be it. Like, that's what they would settle for. But instead, they decide not to settle. Well, they couldn't settle because if they wanted to settle, it would be a big it would be a postseason ban, vacated wins, and all that stuff. So they're going to go down with the ship. They're going to be, hey, we're going to ride this one to the very, very end. And that's because they want to ride the high wave. They know there's no good thing Michigan can do besides get ahead of the curve. But they can still get ahead of the curve in November, December. They can get their fans hyped up for the next 2 months and then settle in November, October, or whatever, and not settle, but they can just self-impose a 1-year ban, which can get them a little bit ahead of it. Because there's no really dodging it. So they're just going to play this one as long as possible, and they're going to hope that they can get one more season in, and for 2025 and 2026 they'll be in trouble. But they took advantage of some really, really talented teams the last 4 years, and this year's team is still really talented. They have, 2 of the best defensive players in the nation on the team, and a good running back, great tight end, and they just want to take advantage of it, and they're going to do that. They're going to play it out. And then once they lose 1 or 2 games, then they'll self-impose. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to lose 1 to 2 games or 1, 2, 3, 4 games, and they're going to self-impose. But if they're undefeated, they're going to ride it out. They're going to ride that wave. But you can see right when they lose 2 or 3 games, just like they did during COVID, they're just going to bow down to the man. They're going to flip the switch. They're going going to go down and hide in their caves like they were hiding in for, what was it, 7 straight years? So, or really 8 straight years, or
Yeah.
well, yeah, almost 9 really, if you count days. So yeah, I mean that's what's going to happen. I'll give it back to you, B Moses.
Yeah, no, I agree. They've been trying to play the long game for forever. I mean, like not forever, but since this has really popped off, that's been their whole shtick. Is just keep pushing it down the road, kicking the can as long as you can to get our memories, so we can tell our grandchildren how we cheated. But but listen, couple things. I want to address a couple things with this because people keep saying, oh, I don't think nothing's going to happen because they couldn't find a smoking gun that Harbaugh knew. There was no text message or email that, Harbaugh responded to Stallion and said, hey, how's the cheating going? Like, that doesn't matter. Look at the Kentucky and Missouri cases recently. Kentucky football got popped, right? For kids not showing up to jobs and still getting paid for them. There was no proof or evidence that the coaching staff knew. But guess what? They still got them wins vacated. So please stop with this. Oh, nothing's going to happen because Harbaugh, wasn't implemented, on paper that there was evidence. Now we all know with 2 eyes and a brain that this dude knew. We know he knew. It's clear. You're talking to him on the sideline. You're the head coach. Stop it. But a lack of so-called evidence on paper does not mean that they can't get popped. Or there's evidence. Look at Missouri. Go look at their case as well. Same thing. So that's kind of out the window. Also, one thing Nevada Buck and Kirk has been hitting on is for months now, is the repeat offender status. Mm-hmm. That's been a huge thing. Repeat offender puts you in that category of lack of institutional control. Once you slide into that, category. And even Nicole Auerbach, the Michigan grad, who, in my opinion, in the past has, done some Michigan protection reporting, in my opinion, but she even said that this, is repeat offender status. Like this could be repeat offender status. She put that out there in a tweet. So Michigan fans just kind of just whistling past the graveyard with this, like just nothing's going to happen. It just is wild to me. And then Buckeye fans, I think with Buckeye fans, they're either uninformed or they're trying to build a wall of defense so they're not disappointed on if it doesn't happen, or if it happens, they're, you know what I mean? Like a psychological mind trick for themselves. I don't know. I'm just going off the facts and what we have available to us and just using just reasoning and logic to determine where I'm coming from. That's what I'm using. So, yeah. So also, I saw somebody mention it here, Scum suing the Big Ten. They don't want to do that. I mentioned this on a couple of pods ago. If anybody knows anything about, just simple things about law, if you sue, you're going to get into a position where you're going to risk having discovery, and discovery is where, things can be, the emails, the text, whatever else can be exposed to everyone publicly. And I don't think Michigan wants that. Because regardless of what Michigan says, deleting 52 text messages on the day that a scandal breaks with that individual that's implemented in the scandal is suspect at minimum. I don't care if the text messages didn't include dialogue about the cheating. The fact that he deleted the text itself is suspect. You're guilty. You got blood on your hands. I don't want to hear none of your stupid excuses, Scam Webb and all of his little disciples. It doesn't make sense. You're brainwashed. So anyway, listen, I got to stop myself because I can keep going with this. I got a bunch of stuff to say, but I wanted you to hop in, Funky, and I'm going to check out this chat and see what they're saying. But any response to what I was saying?
Oh, yeah, for sure. When we let's just look at the punishment of what has been reported, what we think will be reported, or what we can also, let's just say what we can confirm. We can confirm that they're going to get lack of institutional control. That, I don't remember the last time I don't think that's ever been handed out in like the modern era. So they're going to get that. They're also going to get repeat offender status for probably the institution and the coaches on the institution. So they're going to, and on top of all this, they're going to get, I read through the thing again because I think I misunderstood on the first time we were talking about this. They're going to get, school itself is getting 2 level 1 infractions. One for lack of institutional in LOIC, and the second one is for actively hindering the or is it? Yeah, no, it's a pattern. It's a pattern. Sorry, I'm kind of remember it. It's a lack of institutional control and a pattern of non-compliance and of stuff. So they're supposed to get 2 level 1 violations for the school, and then everyone else on the staff is going to get the level 1s and level 2s, but that they're also going to be labeled as repeat offender status. So Sharon Moore, he's cooked. He may go down as the only coach this in this century to have a winning record versus Ohio State, because he might be 1-0 and get canned before the game happens this year. So that may be the only bright side of this whole entire thing. And yeah, but that's just stuff we know, and that's undeniable. And what is like the right punishment? What do you think a right punishment for lack of institutional control is? Because we got failure to monitor in our when we got punished, it was failure to monitor, and that was what, a multi-year show cause for Tressel. Vacated wins, I guess, from ineligible players, but it was all those other probation and all that stuff was for a lack of 1-year bowl ban was a lack of the lack to monitor. This is in lack of institutional control. This is a step above that.
Right.
So if we got that punishment for that crime, and they got one step above this for this crime, then this could be worse than we expect. And I was talking to B. Moses before this. The thing about the NOA dropping, there's 2 huge things about it. The first one is the fact that it's dropped, and now they're on a ticking time bomb, the doomsday clock. And the second one is this shows that those the conversations to settle with Michigan have failed. So now Michigan, it's really hard to settle once NOA is already dropped. That's kind of pushing it a little bit. So now they're in the period of time they're kind of going to play this one out for the long run. And if they really end up playing this one out until the final thing drops in December, they're screwed. They're absolutely screwed. It'll be a punishment that is harsher than we report it or anyone has reported. And our reaction to it being, damn, the NCAA is really setting a standard here, because you have to settle. The NCAA is going to want a 3-4 year bowl ban and these really heavy sanctions and these big fine, and like Penn State. I'm forgetting now, but Penn State, where it was a multi-year bowl ban, 20 years of vacated wins, and that was the punishment, and then they had to settle it. So that's what the NCAA wants, and Penn State had to settle with them. So if Michigan doesn't settle this, it could be otherworldly bad. Like, it could be so bad that we're sitting here being like, damn, maybe that was too harsh. And that would take a lot for me to say that, but that's what's going to happen if Michigan doesn't settle. So I fully expect Michigan to settle, and to be shocked if they don't, because they have to. If they don't, their whole program is screwed for my lifetime. And that's a long time, hopefully. So yeah.
Funky, you are a weirdo, man. It's going to be a slap on the wrist, man. They're just going to get 3 schollies taken away and a fine. That's it. Actually, looks like I lost Funky. I'm about to try to get him back. But yeah, man. Like, it's just I don't understand the thinking that nothing's going to happen based off of what? Like, based off of what? We got him back. Like,
yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
No, you good. So yeah, it's just that, I guess that's what baffles me, Funky. And I was just saying is that people who are saying nothing's going to happen, it's like, what land are you living in? It don't matter what fan base. I mean, there's just so much to go off of to say otherwise. Now, we can debate about the severity of it, but this notion that they're just going to walk away with a few scholarly reductions and a fine is crazy talk to me. But I mean, whatever. We're going to see. And again, the fact that they have not been cooperating, y'all. Like, that's the other thing y'all forgetting about. They had coaches. Partridge was fired because the NCAA caught him trying to dissuade players from cooperating with the NCAA. Sharon Moore deleting text messages. Harbaugh lying through his teeth, about the cheeseburger stuff. That was a different violation, but they still caught him lying. And when they try to, confront him about the lie, look, the parents and the kids said here's their testimony. You ate a bacon cheeseburger and a milk. We know, but he still lied. So can you imagine the continuation of avoiding telling the truth? It just is so much to go off of, y'all. So, but yes, the fact that we got the NOA out and dropped is great. That means the ball's going to keep rolling, and eventually we're going to hear something. But it's just this whole thing. Y'all have to remember, y'all, following Michigan for years. This is the most delusional and arrogant fan base in sports.
Oh Lord.
In sports, okay, with the most delusional beat writers and media, the whole blue wall. This is who we're dealing with. Don't forget who we're dealing with, y'all. This is the same, Michigan fan base and media that we've dealt with for years. So why would we expect anything less than what they've been doing and saying? You know what I mean? So, man. So yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna find out soon because I think other things are gonna start to trickle out and leak out, in the next days.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the things that are going to leak out though that a little bit I worry about is that it's going to come from Michigan. So the stuff that's going to leak is coming from Michigan sources. Most likely. The NCAA, don't think would leak stuff about this notice of allegation, as they haven't done that ever from my memory, but Michigan has proven that they will do it, and they have done it. And I just want to read a quote here from Desmond Howard. The Buckeye Scoop Twitter page posted this, and Justin Spiro, or it was a repost from Justin Spiro. June 9th, 2011. The Big Ten used to be about Midwest values, good morals, blue-collar, hardworking people. With what happened at Ohio State, that whole image has been tarnished. There's people in other conferences that are like, wow, what the hell was going on in Columbus, and for how long? I'm always happy to see anybody who cheats the system get caught and get out of the game. So I want to ask you, B. Moses, how long has Michigan been cheating for, and how long? What's going on in Ann Arbor? Like, tattoos, can't get much worse than tattoos. For players getting their own tattoos, wow, how horrible. I just couldn't imagine a worse thing for players to do than sell their own stuff for tattoos and a coach to lie about it. I imagine a coach lying about something of that nature, B. Moses. Imagine. Wow.
What are you talking about? First of all, everybody still signs. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, don't you know that tattoos give players superpowers? They became the Avengers on the field after getting their tattoos. Yeah. It's just scum logic is just beyond me. But
tattoos affect wins, but knowing the other team's plays and signs, you still have to stop it. So that is nothing. Knowing the team's signs and knowing their pregame is way, way less than tattoos. Because like you said, tattoos give you superpowers and make you actually win football games on the field.
Man, these folk crazy out here, man. Like somebody said, we should have John U. Bacon on.
God.
Yeah, let's hit up John U. Bacon. Sometimes he can be okay sometimes as far as objective and reasonable every now and then, but I don't know. We're gonna see. But yeah, man, this is fun. It's annoying and irritating dealing with scum fans and their delusion, and even some Ohio State fans who are just clueless or at least making big statements without really being informed. But it's still fun to see them squirm. It's fun because they're storing up wrath. They're denying, they're trolling, and they're just biding their time, and it's going, like Nevada be saying, the bill's going to come due, and it's getting closer to that bill becoming due. And the memes and videos will flow. Some of y'all know me. I already got some heat in the hopper for them boys already. So,
once those punishments come out, I just say it'll be a long day for people. I'll just say on the internet. I'll leave it at that. It's gonna be a long day. I'm so ready.
Yeah, and somebody mentioned Justin Spiro. Shout out to Justin, great guest on the show last week. Phenomenal show. He's been killing them boys on Twitter, posting receipts of the scum beat writers, posting all this crazy stuff about Tressel and what should happen in the integrity of the game, and they cheated, and everything should be wiped out. Just going down the line. He posted a real great video showing Ferentz Kirk Ferentz, who got suspended for a game for his violation, and how he responded in comparison to how Harbaugh did. It was beautiful. But yeah, man, it's all out there, man. So today is a fun day, and I can't wait for the days to come. But we're going to transition into talking some Akron, Ohio State stuff. We will circle back. I see the super chats. We're going to circle back as we, kind of see the chat and stuff like that, because obviously there's a lot to talk about with this. But anything else you wanted to hit on before we pivot?
No, I think we got it all, B. Moses.
Got you. Yeah. So like I said, depending on how things go, we might touch on a few things. Man, it's so much with this. I'm feeling like I forgot something important. Like, let me check my notes, man. You know what I mean? Like a few bars I left out. But if so, we'll circle back. But we definitely wanted to get on this week 1 matchup with the mighty Akron Zips. Man, listen, I don't even care. It's Akron. We're going to kill them. But football is back, y'all. And listen, I'm going to the shoe. I'll be in the shoe this Saturday with the fam, tailgating down there with my homie Ryan Wickerham. What up, brother? If you watching, what's good, Ryan? I'll be down there and just kicking it with all the Buckeye fans, man. It's been a long time coming. I'm very excited. But wanted to get Funky's thoughts and some of y'all's in the comments about what you're expecting. We all expect to dominate them, but what do you expect from the game? Like, what will please you in week 1 versus the Zips? And I'll start with you, Funky.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 things I think Ryan Day is going to try to do. And so for the first drives, just from what I've been hearing from the practices, the scrimmages, the tone of the players, Carson had a great quote this weekend, and I think they're going to smash Akron the first drive or 2. Akron's strength of their defense is this. They have one pretty good defensive tackle on the left side of it, decent player. And they don't really, I mean, obviously he's not Ohio State level, so they're just going to go, they're going to run Quinshawn, they're going to run Trayvon, they're going to run Quinshawn, they're going to run Trayvon. And I think we're going to get our first rushing touchdown for Will Howard in the first drive. That's my prediction. I think Will Howard will score the first touchdown for the Buckeyes. And then I think the second half is just going to be a J.J. Smith, Julian Sayin show. And I think that's going to get us all really excited. I genuinely think J.J. Smith's going to score 2 touchdowns. I think Ryan Day is going to go. I think Ryan Day is going to feed him. He's going to get the freshman playing time. I know people are like, "Oh, sit the players." Blah, blah, blah. No, play J.J. Smith. He's a freshman. He needs this. This is great for him. He's going to go out there and play and score 2 touchdown passes. And Mecca will get off the field. He's been there, done that. I think Brandon Ennis and Carnell could get some more playing time, but all the freshmen, J.J. Smith, you might see Mylan Graham. Probably not, because he was a little bit late. But definitely J.J. Smith and Brandon Ennis are going to be out there, and I think J.J. Smith will be the star of the second half, and I think the run game of Quinshawn, Trayvon, and Will Howard is going to be the star of the first half. That's my just pregame thoughts. Just hearing interviews and hearing people's tones, and just knowing how Chip Kelly wants to run an offense and kind of the tone he wants to set this year with Will Howard at quarterback. And I think it's going to be great. And I think the O-line is going to make it a very clean game for everybody.
Yeah, it's not going to be great because Will Howard is Kyle McCord 2.0. Remember, Funky?
Yeah, Kyle McCord can't run fast. He ignored his 23 miles per hour run he had. That Kyle McCord ran 24. So. Yeah.
So prepare for Will Howard to miss a wide open cutback lane for an easy touchdown.
Yeah. Oh, Lord, that happens.
But to your point, you mentioned a quote from Carson Hinsman. I posted this on Twitter. By the way, follow me on Twitter at bmoses30 on Twitter. Carson Hinsman said when he was asked about the offense under Chip Kelly this season, I think Tim May asked him, and of course Tim May had to say, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? After he asked the question, if you know, you know. I love Tim May though. What up, Tim? He said, we run the rock. We pound the rock. It's going to be really fun this year. Can't wait. And then he went on talking about how great some of the plays they're running this year are. We're running the ball. And he was just excited, like, as a lineman. So with that said, I can definitely see Will Howard getting the first touchdown. But Funky, you mentioned Jeremiah Smith. You in my head, bro. I went on record as well saying he's going to get 2 TDs this game. It's going to be either a slant and a fade. I think he's going to score on a crosser, and the second one will either be a slant or a fade. Either way, I think they're definitely going to feed Jeremiah Smith because the number 1 player in the country coming from South Florida. I think they want to show like, look, if you come here and you're good enough, you will play and come to Ohio State, South Florida boys. Keep that pipeline open. And I think it's very realistic with the opponent and with how good he is. Why not? So briefly, I'll just simply say, and that was a good analysis, Funky. I mean, we're going to dominate them. I think running the ball is definitely what we're going to do. Akron is going to have to creep them safeties up because Quinshawn and Trey and Will Howard is just going to punch them in the mouth. The O-line is going to do what they do as far as, moving them off the ball. And I had a whole, before this news broke, I had a whole spiel for y'all for the O-line. I still want to do that. I may even pre-record and just do like a 10-minute video of just the O-line breakdown because I had so much to say. But watch how better this O-line is, y'all. Don't worry about this O-line. I'm telling you, don't worry about it, especially with Chip Kelly and the experience that they have this year and the running attack that we're going to have. And I think it's going to be like a 41-0 in the first half. That's what I see. I think we're going to get a shutout too. I think the second and third string defense will hold up and we will get a shutout. So my final score prediction, I think is I'm going to go with 52-0. 52-0 Buckeyes.
Yeah, to go off that, I think the only way Akron could score is off a special teams play or a turnover near the red zone, whether a fumble or a kickoff return, a big kickoff return, or a big punt return. And that's one thing I'm going to be really looking for, even when our backups are on there. Just making sure that, one, we got our new punter. I don't think we talked about that ever. 6'7", huge man from Australia.
Yeah.
That is a big man, and I'm excited because I feel like special teams has just been hard. Just talking about it is painful, but it's just been painful to watch for Ohio State for the last couple of years, and so I'm glad that we got a guy who could really punt the ball. Hopefully, you won't see the field much, but once he is, I feel like we'll be good there. But I'm just, again, the only way Akron scores if they get a turnover or that. They won't generate an own drive by themselves. That just won't happen. This Ohio State team is playing too hard. And even when the backups come out, even when the starters come out, the backups are starters. Any other Ohio State team ever, those guys would be starting this year for Ohio State. This is unprecedented that we have this much talent on a team, and there's just no way. Akron's first strings couldn't hang with Ohio State's second strings or third strings.
Yeah.
So especially this year. In a normal year, it'd be a little more even, not even, but a little more. This year, it's not even close. I mean, it'll be dominant. So my final score prediction is 72-3.
Ooh,
yeah,
I like it.
I just don't. Ryan Day's not going to let off the gas pedal. That's not going to happen. We have too much firepower in the one or two strings that I feel like even the second strings, you won't tell much of a difference. I think it'll be very clear. I think they're so talented. I think Julian Sain, Devin Brown, whoever they put out there, they're good enough to run it down all over Akron. And the O-line, the backup O-line is just as good, and the backup tight end just as good. Our backup wide receivers are way better than most teams in the country. So I think the offense has no issues, in defense, I don't even need to talk about that really. So yeah.
See, I feel bad now, man. I feel like an idiot. You're right. 52-0 is trash. I'm gonna have to do my score over, because you're right. I mean, on defense, who they gonna trot out there on second string? C.J. Hicks, Arvell Reese, Gabe Powers, half the rotation of the D line that was already playing.
And those boys they're going to play hard too. It's not like, oh, we're just going to play. They're playing for a spot. They're playing like it's their Super Bowl, because it is their Super Bowl. If they screw up, you might not see them for a week or two. Every game is an open tryout. So, I mean, they're going to be going at it. Devin Brown's going to want to prove himself. If they put in Julian Sain, which I don't think they will, I think they'd put in Devin Brown. I think that Devin Brown is going to show out, because Devin Brown's still a good quarterback. Or he'll be fine. I don't think he's Will Howard. I think Will Howard's much better than he is. But Devin Brown, when it comes to Akron, it could look like a Heisman candidate if they played him 12 weeks a year. So, and
Devin Brown sucks. I'm kidding.
Yeah. And then what's his the running? I'm forgetting James Peoples. Is that
Yep.
that's our third string running back? Yeah, he'll get some touches. We need to get him in the game a little bit because he might not see the field the rest of the season really, and he needs to be the starter next year. So that's just gonna be something that Coach Lachlan was gonna have to work in. And yeah, I mean these guys are playing for their spot. And I remember Kirk said something about kind of forgetting the quote exactly what he said, but it was about how one player messed up this one time in our early game in the season. It was versus one of the crappy teams we played last year, and you didn't see him for like 6-7 weeks. So these guys aren't kind of just they're coming for blood. I feel bad for Akron. This is, I mean, I feel horrible for Akron. Actually, this is going to be, I mean, right. I used them on NCAA today, and it was fun, but I feel it's going to be bad.
I repent, Funky. Buckeyes by a billion, man. What was I thinking?
By a billion.
What was I thinking, man? Look, let's get to some super chats. Don't want to forget those. Thank you so much for the super chats. First one from Nothing New, $20. Thank you so much. Not cheat in the first place. I had no idea that was an option. Who knew? Not the team up north. I really didn't want anything but to show love and support. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And listen, again, I know I always talk about the chat being lit and how much I love y'all. Like, I mean that from the bottom of my Buckeye heart. Like, y'all are going hard. Like, it just brings, it just tickles me to see the chat just going crazy before we even go live. Cause I can see y'all before we actually go live, man. So I really, really appreciate y'all supporting this show. For real. All right. Next up, we got Mickey. Thank you for the 1999. Love the show. Go Bucks. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Tyler, is it Caressley? Did I say that right? B Moses, a funky buck. How would both of you feel if they did receive the death penalty as a program? How would I feel? I'll go first. If he dies, he dies. That's how I feel with the death penalty. What you think, Funky?
Yeah, no, I mean, after all the stuff that they've been saying, they're not a likable fan base. If this just happened to a team that was nice or whatever, and they got that punishment, I would have some sympathy. For Michigan, zero sympathy at all. I used to be part of the train saying I kind of don't really care what Michigan does until we play them, and if they're good, then it's good. It'll help our strength of schedule out and all this stuff. Now I'm changed my tone this year, and it was last year too, but changed this tone for the whole year. I want them to lose every single game they ever play. Yeah. So they receive the death penalty. Yeah. I don't want to use any curse words here, B Moses, but yeah, I'd be on Twitter all day, every day. B Moses, not leave it. I will not leave that app ever. So
I would be on some. We're going streaking.
Yeah,
like some old school Will Ferrell, Frank the Tank type stuff. But listen, I'm not a Rolling Stones fan on this one. I have no sympathy for the devil. Okay, for you young people, Rolling Stones has a really popular song called "Sympathy for the Devil," but no sympathy. A death penalty is not going to happen. But if that was the case, absolutely, I would have no man, I feel bad. No, I would not feel bad. They get what they deserve.
If this was 1980, if this was in 1980 when SMU did when they got caught for for paying players, whatever, then Michigan would get the death penalty. That's the thing. They would, if the death penalty's never been handed out before, it would be this. This would be the first time they do it, because they hit every box. On-field cheating affecting games, check. Not cooperating, check. Coaches just ditching and making fun of it and all that stuff. The whole institution, check. Repeat offenders, check. All within like a 2-year span. So if the death penalty was still a thing, they would get it. They would 100% get it. So they're lucky SMU got it, because if they didn't get it, you F around and find out. So yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, can't make it more plain than that, man. But Ryan Coolidge, thank you for the 1999. Congrats on the show, gentlemen. Guessing 66-13. I think 2s and 3s in by second half. Lots of ground game. Ryan Day takes it easy on an in-state team. Also, UN fans are delusional. Don't need to elaborate. Amen. A and amen. Yeah. So I mean, 66-13 is cool. I mean, that's fine if the backups came in and let some passes go over their head or something, or turnover. I don't know if Ryan Day, that's a Jim Tressel trait, taking it easy on the in-state school. I don't know, man. I don't know. This year with everything, all the I'm not gonna say pressure because that's a whole nother show, but I don't think there's pressure on Ryan Day as the outside media is trying to put on him. I actually think he's in a great place based off of the offseason he's had, hiring Chip Kelly, being able to be a full-time head coach. Just I can go down the list, but again, that's another pod. I just think he's just out for blood. And he has the team to do it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he still let Julian Sane throw in the fourth quarter. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
Yeah.
You want to add anything to that, Funky?
Yeah, didn't we beat Toledo? Was it 77 to like 3?
Yep.
So yeah, no, Ryan Day doesn't care. He does not care. They'll run, or I forget they had that running back. I'm literally forgetting the run, but I just remember watching the game and it was like where we had 65 points or something, and all of a sudden the running back breaks for like a 60-yard touchdown. I'm like, oh wow, they really don't care. Like we're gonna run this up. So yeah, no, I mean, I can see 13 points just because I think Akron's actually a decent FCS team this year. So
they got a decent quarterback.
They have a decent quarterback. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think like they're fine. So I could that's not out of the picture. But yeah, no, we're not taking it easy on an in-state team, and our second strings are the best they've ever been. So yeah, I already said that though. But yeah, carry on.
Yeah, no doubt. So listen, I'm excited. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this, but I'm so excited about the season, y'all. I know the Michigan stuff. Like I said, I quoted last week. Somebody asked me, why are you still talking about the Michigan stuff? Because news keeps breaking. I'm going to keep repeating this. Here's my quote. News keeps breaking and stupid stuff keeps happening. So we're going to keep talking about it. But again, we can walk and chew gum. We can address that. And we can also be excited and talk about the Buckeye season and this natty run. And again, if y'all going to be on campus and y'all see me walking through, I'm the tall 6'4" brother, with the wave spinning. I'm going to have a big O-State chain on. Come holler at me. Come say what's up. I'm going to be on campus on Saturday, tailgating and having fun, man. I cannot wait.
Yeah, and as Nevada says, just appreciate every snap, guys. Like, I'm a little bit young saying that, but if this is going to be a special season, and we just got to appreciate it. These seniors are going to be gone next year. There's no coming back. There's no eligibility left. Or at least I think so. Whatever, they're gone. They're going to be gone. All these, we're going to lose. We're going to play some of the most NFL picks teams ever had. We're going to have a great quarterback, great running backs, the best coaching staff I've really ever seen based off merit before the season. And I'm going to appreciate it, and I'll be sitting down. And I'm going to watch every single play, and I'm going to appreciate every single bit of it. And I will be back at it next Sunday. We'll discuss it right after the game.
Yes, and one last thing, consider, first of all, if you have not liked this video, please like the video and subscribe, okay? If you enjoy this show, if you enjoy the content on this platform, go ahead and subscribe. Also, consider checking out Buckeye Scoop. Listen, I've been on all the boards. I've been on all the groups that you can name out there. This is hands down the best one, and I'm not paid to say that. Like, I was saying that before I became, somebody who helps with content. You know what I mean? Buckeye Scoop is raw. Like, check them out. Kirk in Nevada will be going live in about 15 minutes. And Nevada, he going to have some heat from his sources. And Kirk is going to bring the heat. They're going to do what they do. So take a little break, grab you a sandwich, and then go back and check them out, man. And I appreciate y'all joining us. Thank you, chat. Love y'all. I will see y'all next week. And go Bucks.
Go Bucks.